Hey, let me get myself together real quick. So, it's been a while. It's been a little while. I would do this with a microphone. Let's just have a conversation. Which light would be better? Maybe this soft light is cute. It's giving hospital. I have been transforming. Okay, biggest update. I completed this book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I need to get used to looking at the camera. Okay, hold on, take two. I finished this book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. It is a 12-week workbook. It is a course in discovering and recovering your creative self. So when I first started it, I thought of it as exactly that, a course. It felt like I was in college again, but I was taking a 3-unit class, and it was only about creativity and shadow work. So I started it in February, end of February probably, because I just finished it this week. This was the 12th week. I did my last artist check-in. It was amazing. I worked through a lot of limiting beliefs, both I had, surrounding creativity and just what I was capable of doing on my own outside of this society that values making money and all of that so much. Granted, I participate in it, so it's not something I'm necessarily demonizing. It's just something I'm trying to create a distinction between. So it's this really offered me that. I would dedicate an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, a little bit more every day, because in the morning, you're required to do morning pages. So as soon as you wake up, you start writing. So it's stream of consciousness thoughts. And as I kept writing and writing, I began to write more unfiltered stuff. And a biggest thing I noticed was that I censored myself in my writing, even if I was writing in my journal. So that's something I had to work through. Writing as if somebody was going to read my journal. So I had to just kind of move through that limit and remind myself that it's safe to write. And I found writing again. It's interesting. It didn't click until the 10th week or so, 10th, 11th, but it's something I do every day already. Even before this course, I was writing in my journal all the time. I have a publication on Substack that I launched 2 years ago, where sometimes I'll write poems, or something a short essay or something that documents where I'm at in life at that point, or just some spiritual notion I have. And I didn't really consider it because it was so a part of my lifestyle. It was hiding in plain sight in a way. I already do this every day. I didn't even register it as a creative hobby or a creative thing that I do. I just registered it as I need to do this because it makes me feel good. But then when I started to look at it, I'm holding too hard. When I started to look at it, writing in a creative light, I began to see and think about the possibilities that I could do with that. And it became exciting. This is my morning pages, the meat of my morning pages. I have a couple other journals that I did that I used in the beginning and at the end because I ran out of pages, or because I didn't have this yet when I started. But I finished, and it's it's 240 pages of writing. I just wrote a book. So if I can do this, I can I have it in me to write a book. Especially if I think about it in those metrics of writing 3 pages a day. Sit down and write 3 pages a day. Who cares if it's good? Who cares if it's not? It doesn't have to be perfect, but you did it. And honestly, I thought about turning this into a book, seeing where I was at in the beginning, and then going forward, and then seeing where I land at the end. and just creating a book out of this. I don't even know what the scope would be, but like I have material is my point. And it was 3 months of my time. And this, honestly, this changed my brain chemistry. Like it changed my life. It reminded me, you know, when you have those like moments or periods in life where you're just like floating on a high and you just don't want to let it go, but you know, inevitably the low comes. Like the pits and valleys are the valleys and the tops, the apex. I don't know, the valleys and the highs and lows. Let's be simple. So the highs and lows of life, and you're like just riding on a high. You don't want it to end. You don't think it's gonna end. You think like, I am where I need to be. I know how to be at this point. I know what I need to do to stay at this point, get to this point, and then you're at a low. So I was constantly like vacillating between the two, and I got sick of it. But this really taught me how to maintain like a slow burn, because it integrates like who you are with the responsibilities you obviously need to do in your daily life. And it makes art and creativity and spirituality a part of your life. And it's interesting, I said pits and valleys or highs and lows, because I just noticed there's like a mountain in the background of this book. It feels more like stable, if that makes sense. Like, I know I'm good. One of the prompts at the end of the book is to continue the morning pages, and the author herself has like a shelf full of her journals from her years of morning pages. So the morning pages have really helped me start my day, and it's like I clear, like I write and then my brain is clear and empty, and I'm open and ready for the day I'm supposed to have. Whatever kind of day I have, I know I can write about it that night again as like a reflection entry, or like I can just write it in the morning if it's still in my mind and in my subconscious. I need to get it out. But I was surprised about how many things are in my subconscious, or how many ideas and thoughts and feelings that are unresolved were in my subconscious, and they just came out on the page. And one of the tasks, I think it's like in week 8 or something, 9, the last quarter of the workbook, it's to reread your morning pages. So I started rereading, and that's how I figured out like I censor myself, or I'll write something I feel and then I'll question it in the line like right below. And then another task is to ask how my morning pages have changed, and they've changed in the way that I don't censor myself in my writing, or at least I try not to anymore, because it's just a disadvantage to me. It's like I don't put enough details, or I don't want to put enough details because I don't want it to be read, or I don't want, it's almost like I'm writing for an audience. That's what I was doing. And while that's good if I'm writing like a novel, like this is just meant to be like raw material, and then I can pull it into a novel later and like shape it however I want to whoever is meant to read it. But like my journal is meant to be vulnerable and emotional and honestly like not making sense sometimes, and that's okay. But I had this blockage that I had to work through, where I just didn't trust myself to write what I felt on the page. And that's a problem, because the creative pursuit I am pursuing is writing, because it's what I've done my whole life, and it's what I want to do for the rest of it, and what I'm going to do for the rest of it, regardless if it makes me money or not. Like writing for myself, writing books for other people, writing books that will help people, reading, maybe teaching, who knows? There's a whole world of possibilities that could extend into. But I am glad that I did this workbook. It came in a period of my life I needed it to. It was coming to a close like around eclipse season and then the new moon, and I just feel brand new now. Apart from the energetic cord cleaning and the Akashic Records reading I got done yesterday, this ended as well. So it was literally like a bunch of chapters, like old wounds, trauma getting just cleaned out of me. And I'm like prepared with tools to move into the next chapter, which I'm so excited for. I just feel like a baby in the sense where I feel like my brain, it has like a clean slate to work off of. And maybe this has something to do with me being 25 and my brain finally like fully developing, who knows. But I'm like reading more, I am studying. More on that later. I don't want to reveal things too early, but I'm studying, reading, writing. And if you're interested in reading anything I write, I have my publication link in my bio, wherever my bio shows up on YouTube on the main page, but it's scottfitzgerald.substack.com. And all my writings are not paywalled, so they're free right now. But that is an update, you know. That is the biggest update, navigating life. 25-year-old single woman in Los Angeles and just trying to find my way. I look at my videos from when I started posting more earlier in this channel to now, how I feel now, and it's just completely different in the best way. Yeah, like I just remembered I didn't get back to the peaks and valleys point, but my point with that was like being on a high, or I did mention it, like I feel more stable now, but it's like I was in therapy for like 5 years and I still see my therapist like here and there when something major happens, but she really gave me the tools to be stable emotionally, or kind of like self-soothe emotionally. But then like, you know, like obviously it's new things are always happening. We're humans, like we're always gonna pivot into something new. So I felt like I was done like healing. But the truth is we're never done healing. We're never done like rediscovering who we are or who we're gonna be in the next chapter, in the next portion of our life. And I naively thought that I was done, but we're never done. So this really helped pioneer and pave the way for this next era that I'm entering. And I'm glad I did it. I showed myself that I could really commit to something and stick to something and see it all the way through, because Lord knows I've been having an issue with that for the past few years. But yeah, I really made myself proud with this. I'm beyond creativity. I've been doing Pilates and yoga in the mornings. So I've been doing that like 5 times a week. Yoga 2 or 3 times a week, Pilates 2 times a week. And just sticking things out, just building discipline, one thing at a time. It's like I feel like something's happening, something good is happening, lots of good things are happening, and it's just like slow movement, but it's sure movement. And that's honestly all I can ask for and all I can celebrate. Just that there's movement, and I feel like I can be content with every single day, like find contentment in every single day I'm alive, without being on like a manic high and anticipating a low, or without being in a like depression low and waiting for the high to come back. Like just neutral level coasting, and it feels really good. So I meant what I said in the last video. In doing nothing, something happens, and I did not do anything on this channel for 2 months. So here I am, just giving a quick update. There will be more, but that's what it is for now. It's Sunday and I'm going to get back to studying. I have hot yoga tonight. And then tomorrow I'm not going to work because I have a couple doctor's appointments and then my friend's graduation to go to. So yeah, life is good, life is great. Things are progressing slowly but surely. And thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next update. Bye.